Hello there. My name is Jayman. You on the Jayman Show, which is on WBCA 102.9 FM, Boston's local community radio station, the best station in the whole world. My guest today is Michele Jennings. Hi, Michele. Good to see you on the show today.
Hi, how are you? I'm so honored that you wanted to interview me.
Absolutely.
So let me know what's on your mind.
Okay, that's definitely. Basically, I mean, I saw you in the MC Hammer's videos to Legit to Grit, and you can't touch. And I was like, wow, this is a wonderful dancer. So how did you get started? So how did you get started in the same as a dancer?
Yes, say that again.
Okay, I was asking how you got started how you got started as a dancer in the entertainment field.
Oh, how did I get started? Oh, okay. So, um, right out of high school, I went to my first concert, and it was a concert with MC Hammer, I think Mary J. Blige, and there was a couple of other artists that was performing. And one of my best friends at the time, her auntie was our escort for the concert because we were underage. And after the concert, we met everybody, but we didn't get to meet Hammer. I wasn't that aware of who he was. But so anyway, as we were walking, leaving the concert, the guy who did his t-shirts was interested in my friend's auntie. So they kind of kept in contact. And then when Hammer was looking for girls, he asked if we could come and, audition. And that's how she went, of course, she went ahead of time to secure her spot. And then once she knew that they wanted more people, then she was like, hey, Michele, you want to come and audition? So that day I went there and Hammer was like, hey, you got anything to try on? I was like, okay, yeah. So I threw on. I picked up the routine so quicker than anybody else. And so he was like, would you move down? I mean, can you come and work with me right away? I was like, okay, let me just let everybody know. And still at that time, I didn't really know who he was, but I just knew I loved to dance. So.
Wow. Well, definitely, that's wonderful to hear. So what was it like to work with MC Hammer? Was he very nice to you? He's
Oh yeah. You know what? He was definitely a pleasure to work with. The way he had his crew set up, we worked out every day. We ran 6 miles a day. We rehearsed all night long. There was not, because that was our job. That's what we did. So I was in the best shape of my life. I was in the best shape mentally, physically, everything, because he just had us doing the things we needed to do, and we ate good. We didn't eat red meat. So he really had a tight camp. And yeah, he was definitely a pleasure to work with.
okay.
He kind of set it off for me.
Oh, that's wonderful to hear. So what other projects? So what other videos have you danced before? I mean, dancing, besides just him. What else have you danced with any other artists like out there?
Well, I did. I danced for this group at the time. After I left the group, Hammers, I went to LA. But in between that time, I met this girl group. It was a rapper and a singer called Suge and Dap.
Mm-hmm.
And Suge is Truth Hurts from, she was signed to Dr. Dre. So it was myself and one of my really good friends, Shannon. And we were to go on tour with them after that one, because that was around the time Hammer was dealing with what he was dealing with financially. So, but my best friend ended up having to get her leg. She had surgery or something like that. So I went on this college tour with them. It was just a rapper, singer, and a dancer. So because I felt like when I was dancing with Hammer, he was the ultimate. If I couldn't dance for Michael Jackson or Janet, then I was done. I really wanted to go into film and television. So, and since I didn't, I was kind of over it once I got to LA because I saw a different side of it. And I did a few little videos with Snoop and a couple of other people, but I kept getting into commercials and acting and working behind the scenes. And that started to become my love and my passion.
Oh, that's wonderful to hear. So what television shows and movies have you appeared in so far?
Well, I don't know if you're familiar with the Proud Family. The Proud Family was the first African American series on Disney Channel, and a lot of people didn't know that. And they're doing a reboot. But I worked with that company, that production company, for probably about 4 or 5 years, and while working as a recording coordinator, I would pitch myself to do voiceovers because, I was like, I see the scripts, I see the characters. I wasn't a main character, but I was an incidental character. So I was able to do, I was able to like massage my vocal cords and acting at the same time. So that was really a fun time. And then I associate produced a Bollywood film. I worked as an associate producer / some other producing, and I brought a lot of people into that. And that was a genre that I wasn't familiar with, but I was so grateful that I was able to be a part of that. I did a line producing for an independent film with we tried to do it as a feature and then broke it up into a series. And Carl Payne was one of the main actors on that, right before he got the big role with Tyler Perry. So, and let's see, what other films? A lot of stuff that I did, like a Disney commercial, like I did actually act in these commercials, and I'm sure you found me on my little documentary on YouTube, which I did in film school. It was like 11 minutes. I didn't even think nothing of it. I just put it up there to see if anybody would be interested. And so hopefully I can make it into a longer story, because people keep asking, we want more, we want more. So hopefully I can.
Yeah, that sounds wonderful because, like I said, you were wonderful on the platform. You used to watch the show on the TV, you, Tommy Davidson, Kyla Pratt, Jojo Marie from Family Matters. That was one. I love that cartoon. I hope they might bring it back, because I love that. Yeah. And,
Yes.
yeah.
Say that one more time.
I was saying, I love that show. The Part Family. That was a wonderful show you were on. Kyla Pratt, Tommy Davidson, Sugar Mama. I love that was a wonderful show.
Oh yeah, the Proud Family.
Yeah.
So. I know it was such a great experience, and I'm not sure if you know, but is it getting too loud?
Oh no, it's fine. I can hear you.
Okay. The one thing about working on animation or in animation, it's a longer process than film and television, and you work for a long time. Basically, you working for like a couple of years, whereas live action may only be a few months, depending on the project, or it could be a lot longer if the budget is bigger. But with animation, you're talking about 2 and 3 years, and that's how it worked. Even when I was touring with Hammer, we would be on tour nonstop for the whole year, 2 years at a time, and really missed a lot of different holidays. But I was used to that. Oh. The short thing, I'm not. Give me in there a long time so that, I can keep working my creative juices.
Oh, well, I see. Wow. Wow. So are you working on, are you working on any new projects coming out this year, like album or TV show coming out this year?
Well, currently I am voicing or narrating a full-length book,
Okay.
which is huge. It's like 700 pages. So I'm at the finish line getting it done. I wish I can say what it is, but I should be done like in maybe about a week or so, and then
Okay.
I can move on to the next thing. I've been getting offers. I just got you know, had an interview for possible feature,
Mhm.
hopefully.
Okay.
Fingers crossed as a line producer.
Mhm.
So it's it's so gratifying, and I'm so grateful that people still think to ask me to come and, be a part of their project or be a part of whatever they're doing, because I'm that type of person that reach back to people
Yeah.
or help others when I'm in a project or doing a project or working a project or something. You know, I'm all about helping one another. So it just feeds my soul when somebody, want
Yeah.
to just have a conversation with me like yourself.
That's one of absolutely because I'm so glad to have to talk to meet you and talk to you face to face. Yeah. So do you still dance?
Yeah.
Do you still dance from time to time?
I I do. It's so funny.
Hmm.
I do love to dance, and I still dance. I may not do it on the scale of touring and in front of people, but I do it at my home. I love that game, Just Dance. So I try to keep my wind going. So any chance I get to just show some dance skills, I will do it. You know,
Yeah.
I, I remember this time when my child was real young,
Hmm.
and I said to her that, your mom used to dance.
Hmm.
She totally didn't believe me, right? So in California, they during the Halloween season, they have this thing called Boo in the Zoo, right?
Hmm.
And then the radio station comes there, and they're playing all this music and pumping up everything. And so they get the parents up there, and they're like, "Hey, we're going to teach you a routine, and we're going to have you dance. And whoever dances the best, you win the contest, right?" So I was like, this time I'm gonna jump into the contest, because my child totally didn't believe me. So, I learned the routine. I was acting as though I'm not, coordinated. Then all of a sudden, I busted a move. My child was like looking up at me on stage with her mouth like, "Oh my gosh, this is my mom." So it's it's so funny, because she totally didn't believe me. Even after me showing her videos and stuff, she totally didn't believe me. But so I had to show her a little bit. And then when they announced that I was the winner, she come running with open arms, "Mom, Mom, oh my gosh." So it was a very cute moment. But yeah, I still love to dance.
Me too. That's wonderful to hear. Definitely. So what
You
about?
like to dance?
Yeah, I love to dance. Yep, I love to dance. Yep, I'm not good, but I love to try and dance. And sing. Yeah, I do.
Oh, that's good. That's good.
Yeah. So
So
yeah.
you were into Hammer back then,
Yeah.
and
Yes, I actually saw him on concert. My cousin and I saw him on concert in Boston. He was a great. He put on a great show. I wish I could have met him myself. It was like, wow, that's the man.
what year was that?
I think it was when Tula Jit came out,
Okay. So
and
you saw me. You saw Mello Yello out there doing it. You
I,
saw me.
yeah, I probably saw you. Yeah, but I was
Yeah,
just,
oh, you did. You did. Trust me. You did.
yeah, I did. Yeah,
I was there during that time.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, it's too bad I could have met you then. But I wanted to meet you and him at the same time. Hmm.
Yes. Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, but I love to just go to concerts, and see new talent. Yeah, it's a blessing. Yeah. So what advice can you give artists or dancers that want to be the next Michelle, want to dance, what advice can you give us?
Well, that's a very good question. What I tell kids nowadays growing up wanting to dance, I say learn all genres of dance. Don't just be tunnel vision,
Mhm.
um, just with hip hop. I was doing jazz, ballet, contemporary. I did, of course, hip hop. I even on my off days, I would do acrobatics because I just wanted to always take my skills up a level. I say try to be strong in every genre and not be mediocre, but don't be tunnel vision, especially Black kids. Do not just think one way, you know, because they won't tell you. Learn ballet, learn contemporary, learn acrobatics, learn anything that can also get you outside of just dancing, that you might be in a Circus Soleil or something like that. You gotta don't think just, oh, I gotta dance for an artist. Think broader, you know what I mean? So that would be my biggest advice to kids. Just if you're gonna become a dancer, make sure that you have other skills to incorporate that.
Yeah, that's a wonderful advice. You definitely, that's what we all need to hear. Yeah.
Yeah.
So what inspires you? What gives you inspiration to do what you do?
What inspires me? Ah, that's a fantastic question. I think what inspires me the most is just seeing where my parents came from, my grandparents came from, and always having that voice in my head of how they would be so positive and inspiring and encouraging. They're no longer here with me,
My condolences.
but except for my father. He's definitely an encourager. And then another thing that really encourages me is just seeing my daughter, my child go through, you know. And then another thing is just creating. That fuels me. You know, that fuels me. But just my ancestors are the one that really inspired me, just to see what they've gone through and what I've accomplished, and probably not even thinking that little me from little projects in SAC would be able to do such a thing. But I always say the world is your oyster, and you can just, you know, do anything you want, set your mind to do, and don't let circumstances ever deter you from your dreams.
Yes, I definitely agree. You know, my mom always said, you always go for dreams, and believe in God first, and you can be anything you want to do. You know, so that's fun. That's how I remember my mom. You know, always saying, go for your dreams and just do your best. You know, and believe God, put God first. You know, so I definitely agree with you because that's something we all need to hear. Yeah.
That's wonderful. Your mom was a good woman. Is
Yeah.
she still alive?
No, she actually passed away 5 years with to a heart attack. So, but yeah, she. But you would have loved it. I wish you could remember. Definitely could have had a chance to meet her. You know.
I feel the same way. My mom was the same way. I mean, she was a lovely woman, just a sweetheart. You would have loved her too.
Yes.
Yes.
I think we all need to love. All need to love our mothers, you know, because we cherish them, because you never know when they'll be going, you know. So make you, you know, realize, you know, that you appreciate the people you have in your life, you know, because you never know when the time is up, you know. So that's fine.
Yes, I agree.
Yes.
Family is like so important nowadays. It's just like clinging on to the, you know, those people that mean so much to you during these times. So, you know, you just cling on to family and close friends that really, really want to see you win, and you want to see them win, and just love you unconditionally, right?
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So how did it, how did the pandemic affect you? I mean, everything shut down.
How did it really didn't affect me per se, because during that time I'm essential, so I still worked no matter what. And actually, I booked a commercial, did a commercial. I've been narrating books, so for me, it just made me to think of other things to do during this time to keep that my creative. You know, I may not make a ton of money doing it as of yet, but just to keep those creative juices flowing and keeping me on tight with my acting, voiceovers, and all that good stuff. So it only maybe emotionally with my child, having to take them out of school, and that's probably the most effective, and not being able to. They get excited, and not being. yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And not being able to see people on a regular basis. I love to travel, as you know,
Yeah.
and I love to travel to other countries.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the main thing, was traveling to see my significant other from,
Mm-hmm.
So that was. Mm-hmm.
What places have you traveled to?
What places have I traveled to throughout my years?
Yeah.
I've been to Paris, London, Italy, Indonesia, Malaysia, Barbados, Trinidad, Africa now, China, Hong Kong, Japan. We performed at the Tokyo Dome. We
Wow.
stayed there. Fun fact. So we were going to Japan so much to where I had learned Japanese fluently.
Oh.
But I ended up losing it because I didn't have nobody to speak it with. None of my friends wanted to speak Japanese,
Yeah.
So Japan, let's see, been to Jamaica, different Caribbean countries, and St. Paul and
Mm-hmm.
St. Vincent? St. Thomas. I'm sorry, St. Thomas. One of them saints.
Yeah.
One of them saints. St. Thomas. So and yeah, like I said, most recently has been Africa. And I would love, let me tell you, I would love to travel every place in Africa and cultivate the dancing culture in those places. I would love to just go and just learn and teach them. So that's one of my dreams to do.
Yeah.
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 So and just be a part of that Nollywood.
Mm-hmm.
I love the Nollywood. So I would love to be a part of that little genre of music. I mean, movies or Hollywood and Nollywood. Yeah.
Yeah. I hear you saying.
Have you gone?
Oh, I've gone to Mexico on a cruise. I went to
Oh.
I went to Walt Disney World. I used to live in Florida when my mother passed in Tampa. So because I love the hot weather. I don't like the cold weather, so I want to try to move to Florida, California, because
Yeah, I feel you.
because Boston winter time I can't deal, so I want to try and move to where it's nice warm all year round, that's my dream. Yeah, but I've been to Florida, New York, New Jersey, New Mexico, Arizona, yeah, and
Yeah. See, I've been to every place in the States.
yeah, yeah.
Every place in the States.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Hawaii is a nice place. Have you ever been there?
No, my cousin went there, but not me. Hopefully, if I get married, I'll go. I definitely want to go. For my honeymoon.
Yeah.
Yeah, or maybe I could go by myself. But yeah, I definitely want to go to Hawaii. I want to go to Vegas, California.
Yeah.
Niagara Falls, Canada. Yeah, I do want to. So much place I want to go and do my life. So yeah, So,
yes, I have family in Vegas.
really? Yeah. We had a family reunion down in Vegas last month, but I didn't get to go because I was working. But I do want to hopefully get there at some point. Yeah. So,
That's fantastic.
yeah. So, yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. So what do you see yourself, years from now? Still acting, dancing, directing? I'm talking maybe years down the line.
Right. Well, I am now in Georgia. I'm from California, lived in California forever.
Okay.
So recently we've moved here for the last 2 years.
Okay.
So my biggest dream is trying to be a part of the film industry here.
Okay.
It's just trying to crack that net open to be in the place with the right people at the right time.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I get so anxious because I miss it so much, you know,
Mhm.
the long hours, the creative. I love being in development. Like the production company I was working for the Proud Family.
Mhm.
I literally, when I was working at that production company, that was like on the job training.
Mhm.
And that's when I realized how many different, you know, different positions or, you know, things that I would have, you know, that I enjoyed. And it made me say, what out of all this, what do I love the most? And
Mhm.
what I have found, I love acting
Uh-huh.
and I love line producing.
Yeah.
I love development. I like seeing things put together and them coming to its fruition. You know, I love it, seeing it in its infancy stage to, you know, into something amazing. So I like the creative development part of everything, you know?
Yeah, I definitely understand.
So what I see myself doing is acting and producing.
Oh, that's wonderful. That sounds wonderful. So you're in Georgia, right? So you're in Georgia right now, right? Georgia
Yeah,
right
I'm currently in Georgia.
now? Okay.
Mhm.
Okay, because my cousin's Clem Bella down there too, so yeah, that's good, Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I family down I got my cousins on the south. If I go down there, maybe we can meet sometime, because I do want to see my
We
cousins.
can, for sure.
Yeah.
Most definitely. Most definitely. We moved down here so that my daughter can be closer to her father. And that was the reason I was like, hey, she
Mhm.
want to be closer to her dad? I said, okay. So
Okay,
here we are.
that's wonderful because I do plan to come down, so we'll definitely meet, be buddies.
Yes, please do. You have my number.
Yeah,
You have
yeah, we
I'm
make
in the Lawrenceville area, but
okay.
we have I'm in Decatur and Stonecrest at times. I'm working in
Mm,
those two locations. But, you know, please, yeah, I would love to meet you in person.
absolutely. And if you come to Boston, I'd love to have you over for
Yeah,
dinner. So you can definitely come to my house for dinner, meet my family.
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, So yeah. Okay. And
Boston has a nice flavor to that,
yeah,
you know, that town. I
yeah,
love that Boston flavor.
yeah. Yeah, it's
I
definitely
will, definitely.
okay, definitely. Yeah, yeah. So I guess I just have a couple more questions, okay?
Okay.
Okay,
Mhm.
okay, so I guess my next question for you is how did the this might be kind of personal, but I'm gonna ask how did the George Floyd incident affect you? I mean, after what happened to him, George Floyd, and everything going on, racism. How does that affect you as an African woman? Because it's so sad.
Yeah, I think that whole incident shook the whole nation.
Mm-hmm,
Black, white, mixed, whatever. It
mm-hmm,
was such a sad, it was such a sad situation, and
mm-hmm,
you felt helpless. I mean, I wish I was there to
mm-hmm.
have enough strength to push the cops off of him.
Yeah.
But I can see that everybody was so nervous because they didn't want that result to end, you know, that to happen to them because it's it's law enforcement,
Mm-hmm.
and you would think law enforcement is going to have our best interest at heart. It
Yeah.
was such a sad moment, and it's still a sad moment. And for a mother, a child, other people to see this man
Mm-hmm.
just, they just took the life out of him right in front of everybody was such a sad moment, you
Absolutely.
know?
Yeah.
And he's gotten justice.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, he's not here to see it, but it affected me as a parent, as a person,
Yeah.
as a Black person.
Mm-hmm.
It affects me deeply.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I have a lot of Black men in my family.
Yes.
You know?
I understand. That could have been me, Again, that
Yeah.
probably could, I was crying because it just wasn't totally unacceptable for that to happen. That could have been me, my nephew. My dad. You never know. My brother. Being killed for no reason. It's just I still cry about it because it's not. never should happen, makes you think. I mean, these cops,
Yeah,
yeah, these cops are getting out of control, we have to do something about this, yeah. Hmm.
it's a thing. It's something that we're trying to heal from, but it's hard because this is not the first incident. It continues to happen. So it's like putting salt on an open wound over and over and over, and no one's doing anything
Hmm.
to make it heal. You know what I mean?
Yes.
They're not putting the, they're not doing anything to stop it or change it.
Hmm.
In these times, being a black man, a black woman too, because there's been a lot of black women who have been affected and their lives taken because of law enforcement's disregard for black people,
I know, and it's
you know?
yes, and it's so sad and sickening that this continues to happen. I mean, it doesn't make sense. It's like you would think that we've gone past, the Jim Crow laws, from when Martin Luther King was here to now. You think it'll get better, I kind of thought that Barack Obama became president, things would change, But then he left, and we got Trump, it's like, and now we have Biden. But still, you think that there'll be some kind of change, So yeah.
I think when Trump was in office, I just think it just was more of an eye opener. It was more blatant,
Hmm.
and it had been going on, but nobody has said anything.
Yes.
It's been going on for years.
Hmm.
Like you said, back in Jim Crow, you thought things, no, it's just been quietly happening. And finally, black people are like, enough is enough,
Yeah.
So, it just shined a light when he got into office.
Yeah.
But I don't think he is the reason. I
Hmm.
think people who do those things are the reason.
Yes.
They have to take responsibility for the actions they take.
Hmm.
Because I tell you, if it was a different color,
Hmm.
it would be a different outcome.
Yes.
It's a different outcome. So they know full well what they're doing. We cannot blame the other person. We have to blame the person who's doing the attacking, the killing. You know what I mean?
I do.
So that's just my own take of that.
Yeah.
I mean, he did incite some hate for sure that has been there. He
Yeah.
just made it. It's almost like working for corporate America and working for the entertainment business.
Yeah.
There's maybe a slight racism,
Hmm.
but in corporate America, they're blatant in your face with it
Yeah.
and be like, do something. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's that kind of thing.
Hmm.
But I pray to God things will change.
Me too. I hope one things will definitely change, because that's why I went to. So that's why I went to college, and got my degree in liberal arts. So I can have some kind of something to fall back on, because everything's, So I graduated. I finally graduated college this year, So and I thought that
Yeah,
I thought about
exactly.
yeah,
College degree is definitely something to follow. Is that what you said?
yes,
College degree?
yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I definitely encourage that too because it's because I did go back to school
Oh,
and I'm like 6 classes away from getting my bachelor's.
oh my
But
goodness.
I will encourage. I wish I could have did it sooner because
Hmm.
it takes me longer from
Yeah.
Ozy.
Hmm.
So, but I think that's just something I have to accomplish. But I think it is important that education is, and don't just go for your associate. Don't just go for your black bachelor's because now bachelors are like associates. Go for your PhD. Go for your master's.
Yeah.
Or get something or some kind of certificate
Hmm.
that it's career driven if that's what you want to do. If one wants to do that, IT, computer science, something like that. You know what I mean?
I definitely agree.
So,
Because that's why I'm gonna go get my bachelor's and master's too, because I think it's important to have that, So that's one because I know that because once you get that, then you can have a better house, better job, money, That's what college is for. So that's what I'm gonna do, So
yeah, that's so true.
yeah,
Totally true.
yes, because being a star is wonderful, but you also have to have education to fall back in case it doesn't work out right. So I know that for a fact, So because that's
Exactly.
yes,
Exactly. And then also have a business.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, before I moved here, I sold my business. I had vending machines. So I had
Hmm.
a group of vending machines. I had vending machines in recording studios, auto shops, different places. I sold them all before I came here. It's just lugging that around from state to state. I was just like, nah. But I
Uh,
sold it to a single mom. But yeah,
okay,
yeah,
I
that's
see.
good.
That's good. So what do you think? So what do you think we can do to change the world to make the world better, in your opinion?
Say that again.
I was asking, what do you think we can do to change the world to make the world better, in your opinion?
Oh, man. People have to change their heart.
Mm,
It starts with the inside. If
yeah.
people change their heart, we can work on
Hmm.
changing the world. I mean, there are some people out there, Black, white, Asian, Hispanic, that are all about the cause and changing the world and making um, things change,
Hmm.
you know,
Yeah.
but are they the masses? I mean, I'm glad that we're all coming together to try to make that. I think people just gotta, you know, I think those people around them Jim Crow eras
Yeah.
has to like, no. But I think it has a lot to do with self and
Yeah.
heart. They have to change the heart. Once they change the heart, they can change the world.
Yeah,
You
that's
just gotta want it.
yeah.
There's a lot of people who want that.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely want. That'd be blessed if we could change the world like that. That's definitely true. Have you ever thought about running for president someday, or probably president?
What? Say that again?
I was asking if you thought about running for president of the United States. Yeah. I think.
Oh no. That's a lot of responsibility and that's a whole lot of weight.
Uh, yeah.
That is not something that I've ever aspired to do or be.
Hmm.
Um, but I do respect those people who get out there and do that and campaign and
Hmm.
kick the doors down, pave walk the pavement and make those things. I mean, because those are some of the things that you can change.
Hmm.
If you be part of the political change, you can change, you
Yes.
know. Um,
Hmm.
so maybe something on a smaller level.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a whole lot of. I don't mind power. I'm a Leo, so I like a lot of attention and
Mhm.
but yeah,
I
not
see.
me though.
I guess I understand. Yeah. So what is it like to be famous? To be famous and meet stars. I mean, because I see you in TV. As I saw you in concert. It's like you're one of the I mean, you got it all. You got you're a great dancer. You got money. What's it like to live I guess I'll live that lifestyle.
How say that last part?
I was asking what it's like to live that lifestyle. Have fame, money, and power. I mean, what's it like to be because if my friends recognize you on TV, stuff like yeah, so you know.
Yeah, let me be. I'm not this huge person, but it's a good feeling. I mean, like I said, my sign is Leo, so I like the attention,
Hmm.
the creative, and I like all that. If somebody recognized me, I'm just grateful. I'm humbled,
Yeah.
but you know, it has its ups and downs. It's not always what people think it is. You
Mhm.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Unless you have that residual coming in or royalty coming in on a regular basis, it's not all. I mean, you're just like the next regular person trying to get the next gig or next job in between the next gig.
Yeah.
So that's the reality, that's the reality. So it's like I'm always pounding down a door to try to get the next gig and while I'm working and taking care of my child. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Hmm.
So yeah.
I see. Do you still keep in touch with MC Hammer sometimes?
I do. In fact, I saw him a few months ago in St. Louis.
Oh.
My best friend surprised me and I think was it around my birthday? She surprised me with a concert, and it was him.
Oh,
And
wow.
so we were so excited to see one another. It had been a long time, so but if I need to call him, pick up the phone, he would take my call. But it was a great meeting. We stayed and just chatted the whole way, whole time, and just kind of, reminisced on the things that, being on. They were trying to get me up there to dance. I was like, no, no, no. But my best friend, she was up there dancing. I was like, nah, I'm good. I'll meet y'all backstage. So
I see.
yeah, it was a good meeting.
That's
I
good.
was really happy, very happy. It was a pleasant surprise.
Mm-hmm. Well, you
Hmm.
guys still in touch with that. That's good, That's good to hear
Yeah,
you. Yeah.
I
Oh,
think that's important. Important. You don't burn those bridges because you never know when you got to go back across them.
yeah, that's true. I definitely
Hmm.
agree,
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, so do you want to ask you some questions now? Do you want to interview me?
Sure. How long you been doing this?
Well, I started this podcast in 2018 as I went to Boston Neighborhood Network. I got trained in film production, soundboard engineering, how to radio production. It was fun. So once I got certified, I got certified in radio production. Like wow, and this like I got my show. I was like wow, this is wonderful. You learn how to do cameras, meet wonderful people at B&N. I got to it was like an amazing change in my life. To be able to have this kind of job. So and fun and learn more about the business. And it was great. So. And I started a podcast show. I interviewed you. I interviewed Matthew Knowles, Maya, Ashanti. Yeah. So,
Oh, that's awesome.
and
That's really good.
yeah, so it's been a blessing to have this show and meet and reach out to people in network, So yeah, and then I went to college and got my associate degree, and like now I want to go for my bachelor now, and so yeah, so I think I'm destined, to go for my dreams. I'm also apply. I also auditioned for a movie called I Want to Dance to Somebody about Whitney Houston, so that's gonna come out in Boston. So looking forward to having a small part in that, and
Oh, that's good. That's good.
and so hopefully my things will happen, because I work
That's
hard.
good.
I'm still working
Well,
hard.
I can appreciate your persistence. You were very persistent. I love it. You're like, I'm gonna get this interview. Well, I really have enjoyed it, and I definitely got to come to Boston and meet you, or when you come here, we definitely got to link up. Um,
Absolutely.
yeah, and make sure you do that master's you're talking about. It's gonna be in journalism.
It might be a little bit arts, or maybe television, film production, yeah. But
Yeah,
somewhere on that, So and yeah, I plan to do it. Might take me 2 years, but I'm gonna do it, because I do want to make my mom proud, make myself proud, and so I got something to fall back on, and yeah. So
that's exciting. Is all your family in Boston?
well, my cousins are. I love my cousins here, and my aunt, and I have cousins in Mexico. I have cousins in Arizona, California, and I also have some family in Trinidad, or
Oh,
Jamaica.
in Trinidad?
Yeah, Trinidad.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, so.
That's where my daughter's father is from, Trinidad.
Yeah. But I'm gonna try and go. But I'm gonna try and move out to Florida to be close to my grandma in June, because I want to stay in Florida.
Because you just over the cold, right?
Yeah, I can't do the court, so I'm trying to make that happen this year. So maybe look for schools down there, down Georgia or Florida, California. Yeah, well, it's warm, So yeah,
Oh, that's good. That's good.
definitely.
So let me ask you this. How was it interviewing Beyonce's father?
Matthew, don't see it was wonderful. I can send it to you tonight. Interview.
I think you sent it to me.
Did
Yeah,
I?
I saw it.
Yeah, he was real nice.
I got
Yeah,
a fun fact. Okay, so um, when we were just at the pre-production of the Proud Family,
yeah.
we had Solange and Destiny's Child
Oh wow.
do the opening track.
Mm-hmm.
So, because at the time I was working as the recording coordinator, I had to be in the studio the whole time, right?
Uh-huh.
So, the whole production was super excited that Beyonce and her crew was coming, and her sister and Destiny's Child. They were super excited. So they like flooded the studio. And I can't work like that. The only people that needed to be there was myself, the director, and the executive producers. So they kicked out the rest of the people.
Wow.
Because Matthew knows, I think Beyonce had called, or her mom had called, and Matthew knows came in all black, had his briefcase, and kicked everybody out. He was like, my child cannot, well, he didn't say my child, that's me. She could not, you know, it was like too many people in the studio, and very much so. So it was just myself and the executive producer and the director. And when I tell you, people don't really realize how talented Beyonce is. Well, they know, but to see her in the studio and how she works, that's a side people don't really see. They don't see that side of her. She is like the brains behind everything, and she knows how every note should sound. She knows how the production needs to, I mean, she is an amazing talent. People just don't really get that up and close personal experience. And I was so grateful that I was able to see that, witness, you know, because that woman is super talented. It's like, I'm like, that's just like when I met Prince. This is just like, oh my gosh, these people are just like amazing, you know? So, but that was the fun that Matthew came in there like gangbusters, like, get out. No, he did it respectfully, but it was good to see that she had that backup. But I guess that was a time when they were just super, you know, close. They were still working together, but
because
what for his baby?
Because I actually met Beyonce in Boston. She was so nice to me. I met her at local airport. She gave me a hug.
Super nice.
She was so nice to me. I never forget. I was like, my Beyonce, you were so beautiful. She said, oh, thank you. She gave me a nice hug and a kiss, and she was like, wow, she actually hugged me now. You know, and it was just a blessing to actually meet her. You know, I was like, wow, this is Beyonce hugging me.
Yeah, she's super nice. She's super nice. I'm just grateful that I got to experience that moment with them.
Yeah.
They were all amazing.
Yeah.
You know, the Solange and Michelle and what's the other one? Kelly. Yeah, they were all great. Yeah.
Yeah, I actually interviewed the top vocalist from Destiny's Child, and I talked to Latoya. I like it on camera last week. So yeah, so she was nice too, you know. And so I talked last week. So far I met Latoya. Well, I talked to her on camera. I interviewed Latoya Robinson and Matthew Knowles and you. And like I said, but the best part was going to be Beyonce and give a hug. You know, she was so nice to me. So hope to meet again. I'll never forget it. You know, she's so. And also be able to meet Maya, Ashanti, and many other stars. You know, so it's one blessing.
Wow.
Yeah. You know.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, you know, any other time you want to talk, you just let me know.
Absolutely.
I'm just a Zoom call away.
I definitely appreciate it. So how can we get in touch with you? How can my fans get in touch with you if they want to have you on the show?
Say that again.
I was asking how can my fans get in touch with you if they want to connect with you? How can they connect with you on social media?
How can the fans get in touch? Oh, okay. So on all social media, I'm Michele _MelloYello_Jennings or Michele Mello Yello Jennings. Okay. And I think if you Google it, they can, you know, find me. And just, you know, follow me on Instagram, Facebook, all social, Snapchat, Twitter. I'm on all forms of social media. And I think I'm even on Below, one of them things. So I stay connected.
Okay.
So they can always hit me on social media. And as you can see, I'm pretty responsive, you know, if I'm in town.
Yeah, this is yeah.
I would have done this in Africa, but the internet is so shoddy. I just didn't want to take the chance.
Oh yeah, I definitely understand. You know, I'm glad you. I'm glad you went and came back. So it could just so it could sound much better. You know, you know. So I'm glad you went and came back. You know, because this is
It's so nice meeting you too.
a blessing to meet you too. And I'll stay in touch with you. You know, so
Okay.
you know, I promise you.
Um,
Once I come to Georgia, I'll let you know. You okay? So it's just, but thank you for coming on the show. It's a blessing to meet you, talk to you. You know, say I love you and the best of
Thank you.
you soon. Okay, and have a good night.
Bye. God bless.
God bless you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I'll let you sign off.
Okay, God bless.